Well, hey everybody, happy Tuesday. This is Don from Wizard Tower Games. Thanks for tuning into my video tonight. I'm going to be talking about a couple of different things. I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Star Frontiers New Genesis, a couple rumors I heard, and also had a couple questions also about whether or not we're going to be publishing it. I'm going to get to that here in a few minutes. Scott, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Also going to talk about updates on some projects. I'm going to be talking a little bit about, again, like I said, Star Frontiers New Genesis. Something my attorney brought to my attention also regarding it. I got to ask questions about it via PM and about my involvement currently in it, which I'll get that in a few minutes. So Star Frontiers New Genesis. I'll get to that in a minute. WizardCon, the game convention that we're putting in, say it isn't so, SFNG. Tom, how you doing? David Floor, how you doing, my friend? David, I'm getting those spells to you this week. I'm gonna go over last week. I missed my Wednesday deadline with you, and there's a good reason for it. First, I'm gonna talk about last week. My apologies out of whack here. I'm going to be very open and honest about something. I was offline a lot last week, and the reason why was because we had a trial last week. My daughter, Danielle, died in 2021, and the funeral home gave her ashes away to the wrong person. And we had trial last week up through Friday, like at 4:30 in the evening, and we're waiting to know the decision from jury, judge, and all that. So that's why I was off most of last week. So there's where that's at. So my apologies for not doing the vlog of many things last week, and also my normal Tuesday night video that I do every week. WizardCon is still on track. I talked to the hotel, kind of the host manager who kind of does all the events this morning, and he's been getting anonymous emails. He's gotten several of them making outrageous claims. The pedophile claim was maintained to the hotel against me, that this is going to be a pedophilia convention, which, you know, this is what bothers me about all of this, about that. And I want to get into this for a minute. You know, we have people coming to this convention who are icons of the gaming, old school gaming life. Tim Kask, Jim Wampler, Jeff D, Darlene, Merle Rasmussen. I can go on and on and on. And I'm just not naming everybody just because there's a lot of people coming. And if you, the individual who's saying this type of stuff, what they're doing is they're casting dispersions upon these men and women. But yet I think I know who's doing it. And this person supposedly is all about the OSR. But yet he's calling the hotel and basically saying that all these people coming are going to be practicing pedophilia and all this other nonsense. So to the individual who's making those messages, don't worry about it. Keep it up. I just get a copy of them, and this guy's not going to do anything. No, you can't, because you got to know who it is. You can know who it is, but you got to prove it. And that's the reason why the coward uses anonymous mail and other things like that, because they're a coward. So WizardCon is full steam ahead. We're going to be doing a costume contest for people who want to kind of dress up as their famous game or favorite game character. We're going to be we're teaming up RPG Market, and has sponsored us. They're going to be providing some really cool old school games for the auction. We're going to be doing a raffle of games. We're going to be giving away a lot of Wizard Tower game product. We're going to be giving away some classic games from my private collection. I'm going to be throwing into the raffle. So there's going to be a lot of Orange Spine stuff in there. There's going to be a lot of modules, and people are going to be able to buy little raffle tickets. All the proceeds from the raffle goes to charity. So, and same thing with the auction. So it's not like I'm pocketing it. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing, I know Merle Rasmussen talked about he was going to be doing Top Secret. He's going to be also going to be doing, talking about Top Secret. He's got some really cool stuff planned. We've got the owner of Gangbusters. We're going to be publishing the new Gangbusters. That'll be done by then. So we're going to have a special Gangbusters theme event. And I'm working on right now of having like a special 1920s themed little shindig off to the side. Kind of cool. You can dress up in your favorite 1920s, 1930s gangster gear and have a lot of fun. We're also going to be having, along with that, Tim Kask is having the Tim Kask Adventure. Tickets are selling out of that fast, by the way. Basically, 10 lucky people in a private room with Tim. We're providing food and drink, and Tim's going to put you through a special adventure that me and Tim are currently working on getting into a module form. You're going to get the module to go. You get to have Tim sign it, get photographs. Tim, of course, will talk about old school, talk about Gary, what he has done. Tim's a real cool guy. We're also going to be having a special dinner. And again, the proceeds of this special dinner is going to go to charity, so we're not pocketing anything. The hotel's kind of getting behind us on this too. And this is going to be a really nice 4-course meal with the celebrities coming to the convention. So you're going to be able to have kind of like at a table, family style table, where you're going to be able to really get into it. T. Taylor says, I saw a map of your world in my copy of Lost Adventures. Any plans to expand it? Actually, if you want to go to altaversewiki.com, that's Altaverse. In fact, I'll just type it in here real quick. I can't even see. I've got my damn glasses on. Basically, go to altaversewiki.com, and what you'll see my wiki I've been working on for many, many years. And yes, we are putting out a campaign setting that's going to expand upon that world. Tim has some of his gaming content in that world. We're gonna basically expand on that. So yes, and basically, we used to call it the Altaverse, but it's actually going to be called now. It's going to be called the Open Worlds. So the wiki is kind of, it's a big wiki. I created it, and it has basically all the world, different characters, bits and pieces, and you'll get a real kind of feel of how in-depth the world is. So pretty proud of that bit happening. Appreciate that question, T. Taylor. And by the way, I'm glad you got your books, your game. I have to ask you for everybody, how'd you like your copy of Lost Adventures? I'm really proud of it. I'm just proud of the game. Me and Tim worked really hard on this thing. But back to the convention real quick. So we're going to be having a dinner. Again, it's going to be kind of like a family style table dinner where you're going to be able to sit, talk. Everyone, of course, all these people are going to be talking about what they went through and what they did for gaming. It's going to be a really cool experience. And again, all the proceeds are going to go to charity. We're going to be posting on the website, which is wizardcon.org. We're going to be posting here in the next couple days an idea form. What you can do is you can basically submit ideas on how to make the convention better. What do you want to see at the convention? Already there is a large gaming space. We're going to have I think there's a total of 130, 140 different tables where you're going to be able to game at. There's 2 large rooms where vendors are going to be able to be. We've got outside gaming areas. We got private gamings going on. But what can we do to make the convention better? That's what me and my wife and the team want to know, because we want to listen to you, because it's your guys' convention. It's not ours. We want to make this as best as possible. So we have that going on. I mentioned Gangbusters. We are publishing the new edition of Gangbusters. This is going to be we're taking the existing IP of the game, and which Mark has, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to revamp it. We're going to add artwork. We're gonna take the rules. We're gonna expand the rules, and I want to use the term, we're going to modernify the rules. It's not going to be a 5e strict system. It's going to be kind of a modified system, kind of an old school feel to it. It has that same Gangbusters feel, the same Gangbusters play, but better. So we're definitely going to have that out and ready by WizardCon in April. Polly Kid and me, I just had a back and forth with Polly Kid in a positive way, not a bad me and Polly Kid never have a bad back and forth. We always have a really lot of fun time talking. She's awesome. But me and Polly Kid talked. We are now in primary layout for Snarkberries. The role-playing game that basically it takes place in a school. It's a no-kill system. It's a really cool system. The artist for Snarkberries has been sending me artwork. As a matter of fact, as of this afternoon, I was getting artwork for it. Me and Polly Kid are getting ready to begin a crowdfund for Stars and Sails, which is her other RPG. And we're talking about right now doing a mass combat game based on feudal Japan, which will be a 28 millimeter, maybe smaller, mass combat. So probably smaller than 28 millimeter. But we're talking right now about taking, she developed basically these rules years ago for mass combat, samurai sword type war and all that. And we're going to create a baseline system we're talking about that then you can utilize for the system for the samurai, feudal Japan subject, but also then what we're going to do is we're going to probably implement it for World War II for those who like bolt action but want something a little bit more cleaner, simpler, easier to play. And also my idea is I want to add it into like a more modern warfare setting, and not something not Vietnam based, but more modern, like maybe Afghanistan, Iraq based for those who have an interest in that type of thing. Scott Mulder says, you need art for Polly Samurai game. If this game goes, and right now we're in discussions about this, I'm talking right now to a couple different 3D modelers for all the figures because there's going to have to be hundreds of figures made. Yes, of course we'll take artwork. Scott, drop me an email at info@wizardtowergames.com. Again, info@wizardtowergames.com. And what I'll do is let's schedule a video meeting. We can talk. Okay. So that's what me and Polly Kid have going on right now. Again, me and Tim Kask are right now developing a primary game module for the convention, and we actually have a couple other games that we're developing, which are going to really be cool. So that's basically what I have cooking right now as far as really massive, huge stuff. I have another role-playing game, which everybody who has purchased a copy of Blades and Arcana, we've sold a few of them so far. Thank you very much. Blades and Arcana is the RPG game by Eric Stina, aka Eric Tenkar from Tenkar's Tavern, and me and Tom Veroldt and Eric kind of took the existing game system that Eric had, and we kind of did a little modification to it, and we're going to be developing. In fact, I got to get on Eric and Tom because we got to get this going. Is we want to get Blades and Arcana Core, which is going to be a full-fledged, fully realized role-playing game, which is going to take the Blades and Arcana real simplified system, and it's going to expand it into a full-line role-playing game. So basically, you're going to talk full line of classes, races, magic items, standard items, spells. My ideas, and I'm just going to put this out here. My idea is I want to put several small mini adventures in it. I think that'd be really cool for people to buy the core system. And then along with the core RPG, we want to go ahead and put out a couple different modules. Optimally, I'd like to see 3 or 4 put out at the same time. That way, when you buy the core RPG, you can buy the core modules, go along with it, and we can have a big blast and have a lot of fun when you're playing it. So that's got cooking. So we got a lot of stuff cooking. D20 Delving, we're running in right now into final production of all the figures. I got just about all like 1,800 of them done. We're also going to be starting primary manufacture of the boards and also the cards probably next week, maybe. I got behind last week because of court over my daughter. Yeah, probably next week is when I'm going to get more into there about midweek. As I get that going, I'm going to be starting doing a lot of social media updates as far as showing the progress of it. I think it'd be a cool thing to show you all how cards are printed, how we cut them, how we do them, including how we make boards, because I don't think people realize what it takes to make a board for a board game. And I know what's going to happen. What's going to happen is as soon as we're done with the production of this, the other games are going to release from customs. That's what's going to happen. freaking tee it. And then what we'll end up we'll have a ton of games, and that's okay because we want to sell a ton of D20 Delvings. And D20 Delving, I think, would be the finest product I put out. Me and Tim really put our heart and our soul into this board game. It is so unique, and it has so much to offer people. I don't care if you're a 5e player, a 1e, second edition, 3.5. I don't care if you are a traveler, GURPS, whatever you play. I think that you're really going to get a kick out of this. And it's such an amalgamy between a board game, an RPG, and really kind of like a video game also. Speaking of video games, Mr. Floor's in the house. David, how you doing? And I got to get David his spells and his items. We have primary coding. David, what do you think? What would you call, how much of the primary coding do we have done here? We're pretty much there. We just got to tweak it now. I've been running through test, and system works real well. You can enter rooms. You can go and do, don't you start. Don't get so uptight. You know what? Twitch, stop. This guy does damn fine work. He busts his ass, and you know what? He's doing a hell of a nice job on this game so far. So yeah, about that. Really, we're really moving forward on it. And once I get him spells and items, I think that's really going to take it really into it, and then we're going to start working on the graphics and everything. I already have an artist in line. He's from New Zealand, who is going to be providing a lot of the artwork. In fact, I use his artwork already, and as he's already finished multiple pieces for the game itself. And Zonk is really cool. It really is a cool game. It really has that old school feel. It's first person, text based, but image based. But more than that, it's kind of, you know, first person shooter type thing. It's kind of an amalgamy of a lot of different genres and gaming types, and it just has its own unique thing. And I think that once it's out, people are going to have a lot of fun with it. So when it comes out, I suggest you get an account, because we're going to let the accounts be free for a while, and then it's going to be like $15 a year to be able to create an account and endlessly adventure within Zonk. All right. Star Frontiers New Genesis. Now, last week it came to my attention that Dave Johnson, he's back. You know, he's working under O&B Publishing. He has created a game that is oddly flavorful of Space 1999. I think that's kind of like the reason why he's doing that genre of a game is because they're coming out with the Space 1999 IP for an RPG. So I think he's trying to tag onto that, but I think he's going to use this. Star Frontiers New Genesis. I have the copy. This is the edited copy, the bad copy, the one that tattled on everybody. And I think this is going to be that RPG in core. And I got asked, Tom says the cockroach known as Alex Stone. Exactly. And the thing is, you know, I got asked via PM by several people, and one person said, I heard that you're going to be publishing it. I guess the way I want to put this is, the easiest way I can do this is, how do I want to put that? Hold on. Oh, my buddy, that's not your IP, and if you ever use it, you'll be so neat in paper, your kids will owe the rightful owners. My kids will owe Wizards of the Coast? I don't think so. But at any rate, since the cockroach, Tom Goodcall, has appeared, I'll address it. First of all, answer to the question is no, we are not going to be producing Star Frontiers New Genesis, nor anything close to it. The game is unplayable. The game is... yes, we have royalty in our presence, David. Since VGA PMI wanted to come in here, I'm just going to re-highlight his comment here, and I'm going to address this comment. This game right here, in its glory, is unplayable. It is literally unplayable. I'm not being insulting. I'm not being sarcastic. It's unplayable. It is a mixture of D30, D20, D6, I don't even know what the hell it is, D100, and it is just a mess. Even if you took out all the bad stuff, let's just say magically I could go in and I could remove anything biased, bad, anyone would judge as offensive. It's an unplayable game. And it's because games by certain people, they never play test their games. They don't edit their games properly. It's a hot mess. Tom says it's now the property of WotC since that loser Voldemort shit his shorts and declared bankruptcy. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Star Frontiers is the IP of Wizards of the Coast. We're not going to step on the IP of Wizards of the Coast. I'll be honest with you, I would love to produce an old school Star Frontiers reboot. I would love it. And I know Tom Verholt would definitely love it. Kurt, yeah, let me, hold on a minute. Just give me a minute, guys. My apologies. Just a second. Let me real quickly. How do I do this? I put Naughty Boy in a timeout. I put him in the corner. All right. Tabletop Taproom. Truth, I read it. It's unplayable, pretty much like those pesky modules. That's the whole thing. I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm being blunt and I'm being honest here. The game is unplayable. And even if it, yeah, even if it was given to me, let's say Wizards of the Coast said, Don, you can have that version of the game here. And they gave me this binder. And they said, Don, you can take this binder and you can publish it. I can't. Even if I stripped all the negativity out of it. And the reason why, it's just unplayable. The rules don't mesh. You know, there's game mechanics in here that don't make sense. There's things mentioned in the very beginning of the game that assume that you know about them, but they don't explain up to that point. A game is supposed to teach you. A game has an ebb and a flow. I think everybody here knows that. See ya, wouldn't want to be a moron. Yep, exactly. Jim, welcome. I got to call you tomorrow. We got to catch up tomorrow. Didn't have our weekly phone call last week. But the game is unplayable. The mechanics in it, and this is one of the problems that I have with Star Frontiers New Genesis. Again, and everything I'm saying here presumes that I remove all the racial bigotry and crap out of that. The game is unplayable because, like I said, when you do a game, there's an ebb and flow to the game. You know, what you're doing is you're building on everything. You sit there and you start with number one, then you go to number two. It's sort of like basic math. You know, you don't start off with calculus. You start off, what is 1 + 1? And that's just kind of the same theory behind game design. And this is all over the place. Scott Mulder says, Don, you would never want anything to do with FSG. It's absolutely garbage place. Oh, I know, because I was the one who outed him to WotC over it. You know, my conscience could not handle this. And I'm the one who did the initial reach out to WotC and said, listen, I can't do this. You know, your IP is getting ready to take a hammer. Tabletop Taproom says, and if I had gone to print, I would have not walked to the NAACP and with this racism, but I suspect it would not have been the only one outing it. Exactly. I think that sadly, I look at what happened in the last few years as a really sad thing. A lot of people paid a lot of heavy price for it. A lot of people's families were attacked, kids were attacked, people were sued. It's all gone nowhere. And where is this company at? They're bankrupt, defunct. They're working on game company number 5, is it? Wish them all luck in the world. I think they're going to need it. Tabletop Tapper says not just racial bigotry, but also transphobic. Exactly. And I showed Eric and Tom some of the notes I took in it, because I noted everything in red. What got me involved in it was the original editor walked up to me one day and just said, Don, you gotta see what's in this thing. And I was like, what? You know? David says, reading that broke me. Yeah, if you saw the true copy, yeah, you might have. Like I said, I'm not aware of anything in the wild about this. I'm aware of the core that was messaged to me, and then also along with that, I'm aware of several copies that were made of this that were sent out to play testers, but the negative content was stripped out of it because the person refused to put it in there before they printed the test copies. So yeah. So no, we're not doing Star Frontiers New Genesis. I'm not going to do Star Frontiers New Genesis. Wizards of the Coast, especially now, is so tightly gripped on their IP. And I'm not going to be the next company to go heads up against Wizards of the Coast. I don't need to. I work with enough people who are talented. I have the ability to make my own game if I want to make my own game. And I don't need to take someone else's IP and just simply file a trademark and say it's mine, because that's not how the law works, and that's not how the world works. So let's see here. Tabletop Driver says, this is truth. Don was the whistleblower and he's paid a heavy price for it. Yes, but I'm gonna tell you something. I don't regret it, and the reason why I don't regret it is because I believe that you're judged on your integrity, and I believe that if you do the right thing, at the end of the day, it'll pan out for you. I did the right thing. I stand by it. And you know what? It is what it is. Sometimes when you do the right thing, when you act with integrity, you have to take the hits along with it. So that's just the way life goes. Scott Mulder says, if Wizard Tower wanted to do a Star Frontiers clone, Homage, it would be top notch. This is the thing. Me and Tom, of all people, have talked about doing a clone. The problem with that is that you got to be really careful, because you get too close to the edge of the black hole, you can get sucked into it. And I think that a clone could have been made, Scott, 4 years ago, and I don't think WotC would have batted an eye. But I think now the problem is, I think WotC right now is literally, hammer cocked, waiting to go after anybody who just steps on any other IP. And I'm going to tell you something about Lauren Raynor, lead attorney for WotC. And I don't talk about Lauren in the negative about this. I don't blame her. I listed a coffee cup of all things, and I think I said TSR tiers on it. And Lauren messaged me privately and just said, respectfully, can you take that down, because we own TSR. That is how hyper sensitive they are now. And I took it down out of respect. Why? Because I don't own TSR. I didn't get all fluffed up and say, that's my IP. No, you know what? A representative from Wizards of the Coast, in a very polite, adult manner, said, hey, can you take that down? You don't own it. We do. We don't want it. Sure, why not? So, yeah, I think that, 4 years ago, might have got away with it, but not now. Well, FAFO with going up against $1 billion company. That was like the dumbest thing. I remember when that happened. Me, Michael Hovermail, and Justin were on a 3-way phone call. I was in my car, and they both broke the news that they were suing Wizards of the Coast. Yeah, TSR is going to sue WotC. And I remember being in my car. I had to pull over. And then when Justin got off the phone, Hovermail was left on it. I told Michael, I said, he doesn't want to do that. Oh no, Justin's going to win. He's got a plan, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, you're going into the cave, the dragon's den, and you're going to basically poke the sleeping dragon right in the nose. That's the analogy I used. And, Hovermail was the cheerleader for Justin. So, yeah, I guess that panned out pretty good. That bridge is burned. Sadly, yes. And this kind of brings it to my other point, is what's really sad of this is that 4 years ago, I think Wizards of the Coast would have been more open to allowing people to do IP things. We actually went to Wizards of the Coast to produce a board game, and we were actually in talks with them about a board game, and that was kiboshed right after all this nonsense happened. because they just are now just going, you know what? Nope. Nope. Sorry, can't get that taste out of my mouth. Big Vic, how you doing, buddy? Vic says, why would anyone want to touch a name like SFNG with the names normally associated with the stealth or being jackasses? And see, that's the other thing of it. Why would you want to do that? Because it would sort of like, it would be like me wanting to put a board game out called Dungeon Crawl. Ain't no way in hell. I don't care if they got rid of it, threw it away, signed a paper publicly going, we're never going to use it again. Anyone can use it all they want. I'm never going to put a board game out called Dungeon Crawl or anything close to it. So Vic has a really good point about that. Sometimes the name is so toxic that it just, like a dead skunk in the road. You don't even got to drive over the freaking thing. You just got to drive by it. David Flores says, I got a C&D from WotC over Gamma World, so I don't know about that. Well, the thing is you got a C&D over Gamma World, but when did you get that C&D? And that's just it. They did a C&D against you. In other words, and maybe I misread it, so I don't know about that. I think you meant so I do know about that. Because WotC is just not tolerating jack shit from anybody now anymore. They're keeping their foot down, and they're keeping their foot down heavy. And what that's doing is, and this is the sad part about it, is they're basically classifying all this stuff as legacy content, and they're throwing it up on DriveThruRPG, and nothing's happening to it. All they're doing is just saying it's there if you want to buy it. And they're just kind of doing a POD with it when there's so many talented game designers. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about just so many other talented game designers out there that could you imagine if they said, we're going to let you do it, but we're creating a special legacy license, especially a special legacy license regarding it. That'd just be so cool to do. Jim says, so no Giant Lands RPG for Wizard Tower. No Giant Lands RPG. It breaks my heart, but Jim, sacrifices we game designers must make, right? David Flores says complicated, but I wasn't an idiot, and as soon as I got that C&D, I pulled the project. Exactly, because it wasn't yours. Yes, there are times we game designers, we push the envelope. Yes, my TSR Tears cup I made. But at the end of the day, when they say, please don't use it as another company, you don't have a right to it. And owning the trademark to it doesn't give you it may give you the right to use a name, but it doesn't give you the right to use everything behind it. And before you even buy that trademark, you might want to find out if the other company's control of the use of that name for role-playing games, table games, card games, board games is in control, because it is basically in constant retail market. So Big Vic's Giant Lands, yeah. Yeah, real quick, anybody. Did anyone notice Giant Lands went away today on Facebook? Their Facebook page was no longer available for several hours. I mean, it literally said not available. I think Tom told me about that this morning, and I looked, and it was sure as hell, it was gone. Deinhardt's page was up, but Giant Lands was like no longer available. Like it was like, like if someone closes the Facebook page, and then later on in the afternoon it was available. It was back up and running. Don't know. Giant Lands, Tom says Giant Lands was developing second edition before the first adventure was out. You know what? I'm gonna say it like this about Deinhardt. I give Deinhardt one thing, and I'll have to say this about Stephen Deinhardt, is he's got drive. I mean, he's motivated over his RPG, and it's his game. What do? You know what I mean? He's not plagiarizing anybody. He's not taking anybody's IP. It's an original product. I don't agree with how he's doing the staged out release, but it ain't my game. So I'll just leave it at that. David Force says one of their Twitter accounts went away too. Yeah, something was going on. And then I looked at, today I looked at Deinhardt's personal Facebook page, and something that's really odd about it, since we're talking gossip here right now, is he no longer has CEO Wonderfield on his personal page. And he has a new website. I forget the website name. It's basically like a publicspeaker.com or something. Or And he calls himself now Professor Deinhardt. So I don't know if he recently got his professorship or something. Don't know. Tabletop Tapestries, it's a dog of an RPG. I admit I bought a copy because I was curious. I'll just leave it at that. Might have to do a review on it one day on my other page, not this one. But you can't make everybody happy. I've been fortunate so far. The response to Lost Adventures has been positive. The response to Haunted Ruins has been positive. Pretty soon we're going to have D20 Delving out there, and I know that's going to be positive. And then we have our game Winnie the Pooh, the board game. I doubt anyone here will play it because it's designed for kindergarten and pre-K preschool. But yeah, good stuff coming. Let's see here. Tabletop Tavern says, ooh, gossip. What's next? Satine and Light being divorced. Yes, I saw Satine Phoenix do a update yesterday on Facebook. I guess her and I guess he's going by Light now. His name is Light. It used to be Jameson Stone. Now he goes by Light. And I guess on his page, he's doing some type of, they're both kind of doing the same thing, motivational speaking, that type of thing. And I think she announced today that she's doing she's hooking up with something in mid-September. She's going to be doing some DM work and all that. I'll just say this about Satine. Satine's always been polite to me. I've talked to Satine briefly a few times on Facebook. She's always been very nice to me, very polite to me. And I wish her luck. I hope she learns from her past mistakes. Anybody who can learn from their past mistakes, good for them. It's the people like Voldemort who just doesn't learn from his past mistakes and keeps editing it on. Right, VGA PMI? So, is what it is. Jim Bompler says, well, I can tell you that Parabellum now owns all of Jim Ward's existing IP, and that covers any contract signed post-2019. Oh, really? That's going to be interesting because I think the contract for Giant Lands was signed in 2020. Wow. Hold on. That just hit me. Parabellum owns all of Ward's existing IP. That's going to be some good stuff coming up because Parabellum does good work. David Flores said, I give credit to anyone that puts in the effort to release a product. That has nothing to do with the quality of the product. Dave J, a mess because he hasn't successfully published anything yet. You know what? The problem with Dave Johnson, I'm just going to say it like this, is what Dave does is Dave mixes his politics too deeply into his game company, publishing company, whatever the hell you want to call it. And he has a myriad of pen names. I actually, in my spider web that I talked about a few weeks ago, I cover him. I keep very close track of all his bits and pieces because he's connected. And he has at least 11 pen names he uses, and they're all not real people. And they all kind of have the same weird, he either has an affinity for like weird young Asian girl type things, content, or weird spy thriller heroes who have fetishes. I don't know. Not my thing. Is what it is. We have a toddler in the house. So I may play your Pooh game. You know what, Tom? I'll get you a copy of it because probably, she's going to be ready for preschool here in a couple of years. Right up my wife's alley. That preschool age is right what my wife locks into and teaches. So, and my wife started school back on Monday, so she's in day 2, just finished up day 2 of teaching her little. She met her new ones. She's met her roarer. He thinks he's a dinosaur. So Winnie the Pooh is going to help little ones, I hope. Tabletop Tappers is Light or Jameson Light or Light Stone. I'm confused. You know what? I'm going to tell you what. I'm kind of glad that they divorce, but they're maintaining friendship. A lot of divorced couples don't keep the friendship going. They seem to both kind of, and I'm not trying to put my nose in Satine's business. I don't like putting my nose in those type of politics because it's really none of my business between a man and his wife. But I'm just glad that if they are going to divorce, which Satine said they have divorced, but they're getting along and they got a friendship going. So I wish them both luck. I really do. I hope that they look at the whole Twitter fiasco and they look at what happened back then. I hope they both learn from it, because there was a lot of learning they could both have done. It seems like Satine might have done a lot of learning and growing since then. So good for her. Whether you like her or don't like her, I say good for her. As long as it's sincere. As long as it is sincere. Oops for Giant Lance. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's interesting what Jim said. Also, I strongly suspect he is using... Oh, no, he's using AI. He is using AI writing. He is using AI theme song, and also he is using AI art. That's all Dave Johnson does. So, yeah. Oh, no. There's... No. He doesn't even take the AI sound out of it. It sounds strictly AI. Half his pen names are young Asian girls. Yeah, they are. And that's not, I'm not trying to be mean about it. That's literally half his pen names are young Asian girls. And then he kind of mixes he has really huge sexual slants on his writing in his games. And I noticed that in all of his games that he designs. There's a huge sex-based, female to the negative. Females are not really human beings. They're more for a purpose type slant in his games that he designs. And just the fact the way it is. But again, he comes and goes. He has O&B Publishing or whatever it is now. This is like his 5th publishing company since I got to know him. And so David Flores says, and Bobby Robert Lee subtle as a change. Yeah, exactly. And don't forget Lord Justin, the weird erotica, kind of strange boy crush short story book, whatever you want to call it. And it was Lord George and Lord Justin, or what was it? Don't ask me. But yeah, so interesting stuff happening here. So Wizard Tower Games, we got a lot of projects on the fire. We got plenty of work to keep us going for quite a while. Lost Adventures of Gary Kahn are out right now. Haunted Ruins is out right now. We're getting ready to come out also with another module called Lair. And what Lair is kind of like a super module. It is a big module. And it's going to be both in OSR, OSE, and 5e. So instead of one product with them both in there, you're going to have a choice. You can buy Lair in the 5e version if you like 5e, or you can buy Lair in the OSC/OSR version if you're more of an old school gamer. So that way you can play no matter how you want to play it. Tabletop Darts is weird too, the fetishes that came out. Women are sex objects. My favorite line from DJ writing is that girl, she hot. Tom, I can show you some other stuff in his writing. I got a few classics that I think that I laugh at and roll on. Tom also says, oh yes, the homoerotica from Lord George novels was wild, disturbing. Yeah, really weird because it comes from people who are very anti-gay, which kind of is strange. But what do they call that? Malbekian mistake? Malbekian twist? What is it? Any rate, so yeah, we got Lair coming out. That, like I said, is a large-scale adventure. Starts off in a city, then goes to wilderness, then goes to ruined castle. So it has a best of all, kind of like the little genres that you want to get into and types of adventuring that you want to get into if you're into gaming. That's coming out here before Christmas. And also Open Worlds RPG is also coming out. Probably the player's guide and the DMG, which is going to be one core manual. I was going to make them two, but I'm going to put it all in one core book. It's going to be out also before Christmas. Tabletop Taproom says, please don't. I had to scrub my eyes. Yeah, it's kind of, it's different kind of writing. You got to have some exotic tastes to appreciate it. Scott Mulder, I'm so proud to say I've never had any of the, yeah, I think that you're one of the lucky ones. I envy you, because I actually read all of Star Frontiers New Genesis. It's got to be pretty bad when it makes you contact a company. New thing for Blades and Arcana. Oh, hold on one second. Tabletop Freudian slip. Thank you, Tom. Summer, anything new for Blades and Arcana? Sovereign Wolf, thank you for tuning in. Actually, yes, I was talking about this earlier, but I kind of recap it. what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, and I got to get on Tom and Eric about this, probably reach out to them tomorrow on this, is I want to start getting into heavy core development of the full RPG. It's going to be a full line role-playing game. I want to put a couple modules in with it, part of the game, like little mini adventures that you can use within it to kind of, if you don't want to buy the individual modules, and I want to release it with at least 3 or 4 small, short adventure modules. So yes, Sovereign Wolf, we're taking Blades in Arcana Basic and we're making it into a full-scale RPG. That's going to take a little bit of time, though, to kind of get it going, get it done right, expand all the classes, the races, the spells, the equipment, expand the world. I'm going to make a suggestion that we take it and we utilize the open world that I was talking about. I list the wiki up higher in the comments, which is the world that I created. Tabletop says, ooh, good one. Scott Mulder literature. Yeah. Scott Mulder says, BA Basic is really well done. Looking forward to the full RPG. Thank you very much. When you're working with a pair of qualified and good game designers, it makes your job a lot easier. And we put that game together really quick, and it's because Tom and Eric know what they're doing, and Tom and Eric are communicative. We had several video conference calls about it. We literally had one where I had the PDF test up and we were walking through it step by step by step. And I actually modified. I'm going to be open and honest here. Okay. We went through it, and we actually Tom found one place where a little bit of a text was covered up by a graphic. I fixed that. And we have another spot where we use a term magic user instead of sorcerer. And I thought we got them all, but it pisses me off we didn't. So when you see the term magic user in the first core printing, that's my fault. Gotta get mad at myself when I make mistakes like that. Tom says we have professional development for the next 2 or 3 days to renew a government certification. But yes, plans work from Blades and Sorcery and Blades and Arcana. Tom, psst, hey, it's Blades and Arcana. Blades and Arcana. Remember? Amid a sci-fi mod. Yes, that's another thing. Sovereign Wolf, what we're going to be doing, back to your question real quick, we're also going to be putting out a different genres. Tom, of course, Tom is a Star Frontiers lover of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to be putting out a Star Frontiers version, or not Star Frontiers version, a sci-fi version of the game. God, Star Frontiers in my brain now. And also, I want to put out another version that's more of a steampunk Sherlock Holmes type thing, because that's going to be similar to a game that we're putting out called Gaslight, which I'll be getting into more here pretty soon. Tabletop Taproom, I don't do much. I just took pot shots. Yeah, you did a lot. I like BS. It's a matter of what Tim Cask says. You know what? Okay, got to tell the story. Might as well get this out of the way. Tim Cask. All right. Blades and Sorcery. Tim Cask edits it. I get a call from Tim Cask. Tim says, Don, got a problem with Blades and Sorcery. BS. Bullshit. You want people really referring to your game as BS? He had a point. Yeah, Blades and Sorcery is a cool sounding name, Blades and Sorcery, magic and metal, whatever. But, Tim in his, 50 years of experience in gaming. I mean, holy crap, 50 years of experience that man has. When he starts offering suggestions and you're a game designer and he's editing your game, you better sit there and you better listen. You're better off for it. And we did. We listened to him. And, there was several suggestions made. The very talented Jim Wampler. Thank you, Jim. Jim even offered kind of like an idea for design for the cover. And we went through stuff. Decisions were made. And we settled on Blades and Arcana. Basic. And that's the name of the game. But we did follow Tim's advice and say, we're going to get away from BS. Tom says there have been at least 2 war games named Gaslight that I know of. It's not a war game. Gaslight is a board game. It's a board game where basically, kind of give you the basic parameter, is it takes place in turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s London. And basically you're a villain. One person at the table is a villain. They got to get out of London, and it's up to the other players to figure out who the villain is, but you don't say you're the villain. And it's a game about role playing and being subtle and trying to hide that you're the one actually trying to get out of the city before people know who you are and they catch the person. So that's what it's kind of rolls on. It's a unique board game. Well, and Tom says, well, the Sword and Sorcerer would have been SS with a whole different connotation. Yes, but when you talk about swords and sorceries, you know, SS, I guess so, but I guess people use the term BS more than they use the term SS now. I think putting a game out called Swords and Sorcerer back in 1950 probably would have been in bad taste, you know, because people would have said, "Do you play SS?" People like, you know. But the thing is people use the term BS these days. I use it on my videos when I don't want to enunciate it out. You know, I'm trying to be politically correct. So, yeah. So that's pretty much what's going on. Like I said, gonna have a really busy fall. We still have these left. You really want to grab a copy because now they really are gonna be getting rare and hard to find. So you can go to wizardtowergames.com, click on the store link. It'll take you right to the RPG page where it's featured. I'm going to be running a sale on it. Excuse me. I'm going to be running a sale on it here probably tomorrow through the weekend. And it's going to be giving a really good price on it. So if you're going to grab a copy, that's going to be your time because I'm also offering free shipping on it. So we basically want to get through the rest of the copies if we can. So, yeah. So that's pretty much it, wrapping up. So basically America's first serial killer, H.H. Holmes, that was London during the Jack the Ripper killings, which ended when he returned to America. Yes, but also think about this. They also think that it could have been a member of the royal family. Never know. And you're playing H.H. Holmes. It's basically a similar thing. You're basically the villain. And you have to make it out of London before your other players can distinctly say, oops, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, everybody, you know what? It's been almost an hour. I like to kind of keep my videos to about an hour. Just kind of doing a recap. I appreciate everybody who's been in here chatting and talking. Videos go so much better when we have people commenting and talking, kind of asking questions and doing. I love to answer your questions. I love to sit there and I love to go ahead and talk to everybody. But, you know, I've been at an hour. Next week, we're going to be back on. Vlog of many things is happening this Thursday. Do not know the topic yet. We're going to be talking about something. So, and something a little bit more. In fact, you know, we may be getting deeper into the whole. No, I have a few ideas I want to talk to Tom and Eric about. But again, everybody, thank you very much. I really appreciate y'all talking tonight. Like I said, these videos don't go well unless I have people talking with me and commenting and doing. And yeah, thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Is that the only reason you come? But this is Don from Wizard Tower Games. Again, I hope everybody has a good week, good, safe week. Vlog of many things on Thursday. 10 Cars Tavern, I believe, is Wednesday night and on Friday. Tom needs to get some videos fired up. I haven't seen Tom online for a few days. And this is Don from Wizard Tower Games. I'm signing off. And everybody, again, thank you very much. And yeah, we'll keep everybody updated. WizardCon.org. Don't forget, April 26th, 27th, 28th. It's happening. Kalamazoo, Michigan. We're going to have a rocking good time. Hotels, by the way, they've sold like 30 rooms now. So people are starting to hear about it and wanting to go ahead. And I think more and more people are signing up for it also. We've been getting a lot of tickets sold. So hope everybody has a good night. Thank you for tuning in my video. And I'm going to sign off now. Hope everyone has a good night.